Hello everyone, welcome to a special holiday edition of Baking with Marina Claire. So this month I decided I wanted to do a holiday baking series. So we're gonna have 3 episodes this month of some really cool holiday treats that I really hope you try to make. Especially this episode because today we are going to be doing 3 different types of cookies. There's something for everybody here. We're doing 3 different types of cookies, all ranging from like super duper easy, like stuff you already have in your pantry, it's not complicated, up to something that's gonna take a little more time, a little more ingredients, but it's still very doable. Cookies should not be difficult, cookies should not be hard, and that's why they're good to bake with your family because we're not trying to fight. Anyway, we're gonna get started. My oven is preheating. All of the temperatures for all of these cookies today are going to be 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's whatever the Celsius is. I don't know what that is. So the first cookie we're going to be making is 3 ingredient peanut butter cookies. These are super easy. They take like no time at all to make. And they're really, really good. They're really, really tasty. So I've got my little bowl here. And the only ingredients you need are peanut butter, of course, sugar, and an egg. You can get a little fancy. You can throw chocolate chips in there. You could even crush up pretzels and throw them in there. That'll be good. But we're just gonna keep it simple. We're gonna start with 1 cup of peanut butter. I highly recommend you just use regular old creamy peanut butter. You can probably use the chunky one. I don't like it, so I just use this. Whatever you do, do not use that natural peanut butter that gets all the oil and stuff at the top. It's not gonna work. Your cookie's not gonna bake, and it's gonna come out like a super oily mess. And that is not what you want at your Christmas party. No ma'am. Got our 1 cup of peanut butter into our bowl. You do not need any sort of fancy equipment for this. You don't need a stand mixer. You don't need an electric mixer. You could do it with an electric mixer. I don't see why you would. You just need a bowl and a spoon or a spatula and you're really just good to go there. To our 1 cup of peanut butter, we're just gonna do 1 cup of sugar, just regular old sugar. Right in there, easy peasy. We're gonna crack 1 egg in there. Ooh, very nice. And so that's what she looks like. We're just gonna mix her up just with a spoon. The most important part is make sure you don't get it on your outfit that you spent like 3 days making. That's the most important part here. Look at that. That comes together really, really beautifully. I am a big fan of this. I don't think you can overmix this, but this is like so simple. I hope you don't. I've got my cookie sheet here, got some parchment paper. I've got a fancy little cookie scoop here. You can use a spoon, you can use an ice cream scoop. Go ham, this is just what I have. But these make excellent little guys. Can you see that? No, you can't. These make excellent little portions. You can probably do 3 rows on your standard little baking pan for 1 batch. You'll make about 2 batches out of this. You can probably get about 16 to 18 cookies out of here. You can only put on so many at a time. But if you want to do 2 cookie sheets in your oven, that's cool. Boom, okay. And what I like to do with peanut butter cookies is I like to take a fork and I like to smash it down a little bit and it'll get that nice little crossway texture, like a classic peanut butter cookie. And now another thing I like to do, this is for looks, this is for flavor, kind of take a little bit of salt and just sprinkle it right on the top, just a little bit, not too much. You can use like flaky salt for like coarse salt for a real pretty texture. I like that. I don't have it, so I'm just using regular salt, which still gives it kind of a cute look, I think. So this is ready to go into the oven. These are gonna be in there for about 10 to 15 minutes. Just keep watch of them. They're gonna look really gooey in the oven, but when you take them out and let them cool for a minute, they'll like relax and get nice and crispy, but still chewy on the inside. I'm gonna put them in the oven and we will come back. Okay, so our peanut butter cookies just came out the oven. They're looking really good. They're still a little bit puffy, but what I like to do just for funsies, I have some sprinkles here. Can you kind of see? Red and green and white, just little sprinkles. And while they're still hot, I like to put these guys on there just for a little bit of festivity. And also it kind of helps it stay on if they're a little bit hot, because no one wants sprinkles just falling into their lap while they're eating cookies. All right, and these guys are all done. We're just gonna wait for them to finish cooling completely, and then we'll be ready to eat. All right, moving on, we're gonna start on our second cookie, which is gonna be a shortbread cookie. So I like shortbread cookies, and we're gonna put them right in the middle of the difficulty because they don't have a lot of ingredients. They are a little bit time consuming, but overall they're really simple to make, and you can fancy it up a lot with decoration. I'm gonna put some orange zest in mine because we're going to do orange chocolate shortbread. The flavor combo of the orange zest and the dark chocolate is like my favorite flavor combination ever. Also just a really good like holiday flavor, orange chocolate. Like, have you ever had your chocolate orange at New Year's or Christmas? Like, that's good. We're gonna get started super duper simple. This one is also fun because the dough takes really well to cookie cutters. So you can do really fun shapes and things, and you bet we will be doing fun shapes. So we're gonna get started. So I have my bowl here and I have an electric mixer. You can use an electric mixer, I think is best for the shortbread. You can use a stand mixer, although that's like kind of a lot. And you can use like a spatula, but it is gonna be a little more work and a little more time consuming. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with, we have 10 tablespoons of unsalted room temperature butter. The important part is that it is room temperature.
Look at this. This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
And then to our butter, we are going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. We're just gonna take the butter and vanilla, and I've got my electric mixer. I'm just gonna put it on the lowest setting just to get it started. Okay, so from here, I have half a cup of powdered sugar. It's just gonna go right in there. And we're gonna add another half teaspoon of salt. We'll get back in there. I'm gonna start low because powdered sugar will fly everywhere and I'm a little bit nervous. So it's just combined in there, and now we're gonna add, I have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour in here. Nice and low again until it is just combined here. Now at this point, it's gonna be quite floury. This is not a very sticky dough. And what I like to do is I'm gonna get in there with my hands just to mix it up with the butter. And your hands are gonna warm up the butter just a little bit to get it nice and combined. So you can see the dough is kind of starting to form, very, very shaggy, still very loose, but we're combining. See, as you work it more with your hands, now we're starting to get bigger pieces in there. And eventually we are going to combine it right into a nice dough ball. But right at this stage, while it's still a little crumbly, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start adding my orange zest. I have my orange here and I have a little zester. This is totally optional. You can go in for just completely plain shortbread, but I love orange zest. There is no measurement to the zest. Do what your heart desires. Orange zest is really good in this. I also like lemon. Lemon zest is excellent in a shortbread. I think that's good, so I'm going to just get back in there with my hands and start mixing it up again. And now our goal is to form a nice little dough ball in here. So I'm just gonna start squeezing and piling on to form our dough. We are just about there. Here's my little dough ball. So what I'm gonna do is take some plastic wrap and just put that, starting out about that much, out on my counter. And I'm gonna put my dough right on there. Okay. I'm gonna wrap up my dough nice and neatly. You can kind of smush it however you like into a nice little rectangle is best, I think, pinch at those corners there. So now here's our dough. This is gonna go in the fridge for at least an hour. You can keep it in the fridge for up to a week. You can also freeze this for a month. Just make sure when you're ready to bake, you take it out and let it come to a nice good temperature like this. So I'm gonna put her in the fridge. And wow, would you look at it? It has not been an hour. I made this dough last night. Same thing, and what we're gonna do is we are gonna start rolling it out, cutting it out, and we're gonna get it into the oven. So I have a silicone mat here just to kind of keep my counter clean, but you can just throw flour straight on your counter. It's totally fine. So I'm just gonna flour this a little bit and get my dough on here. Move my cookie cutters out the way. So I have my block here and I have my little rolling pin. We're gonna roll this out to about 1/2 inch thick. You can do it thicker if you like, you don't have to. So I have some cookie cutters here. I have some little trees. Got a little snowflake. Got a star, and I've got a beautiful angel. And just go straight in with this. Do you get it? Look how beautiful. Do y'all see this? Look how cute. All right, well, I'm gonna finish cutting out the rest of these cookies and I will see you in a little bit. I've got 3 stars, 3 trees, 3 snowflakes, and 1 precious little angel that I hope does not bake into the other cookies. These are also a pretty short bake. They're only gonna go in for about 10 minutes. The indicator here you wanna look for is once you hit that 10 minutes, kind of take a little spatula and check underneath the cookie. If it's starting to get golden brown, that's when it's done. So we are going to put these in the oven and I will see you when they come out. Okay, so my shortbread just came out the oven and it's looking really, really good. I'm just putting it on this wire rack to cool down a little bit. In the meantime, I'm gonna get my chocolate prepared to be dipped. So I just bought the little dark chocolate wafers. You really don't have to chop up chocolate or like temper it and go over the double boil or anything. I am putting these in a bowl and I'm sticking them in the microwave. That's all you really need to do. Super easy, we're not trying to overcomplicate this. Stick in the microwave, little 15-second intervals, stir it till it's all melted, and then we're gonna dip our cookies. So I've taken my chocolate out the microwave. This is about the consistency I'm looking for. Not too liquidy, but you know, still good, you know? Alrighty. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab these and just dip them halfway in there. And kind of, I definitely don't have enough chocolate to like fully dip it all the way, but that is what we're gonna do. There we go, and I'm just gonna, ooh, well, okay, maybe not that one. I'm gonna put these back on the wire rack just to kind of hang out. And I'm gonna be very careful about the next one. We're all done chocolate dipping. Unfortunately, one of the snowflakes has not made it. That was a full casualty on my part, but the rest are looking pretty good. So now what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna wait for the chocolate to cool down. I'm gonna keep them on the wire rack and then they're done. So super easy. I have chocolate all over my hands. I'm gonna wash that off and we're gonna get to our final cookie. Okay, so the last cookie we're gonna be doing is these Chewy molasses cookies. They are so good. And the recipe is from the one and only Claire Saffitz, Out of Dessert Person, of course, my favorite. So we are going to get started. I'm gonna start by mixing our dry ingredients. So that is going to be 3.5 cups of flour. Got my flour, and in here I have pre-measured out baking soda. And in here we have our spice mix. So the spice mix is ginger, allspice, salt, black pepper, and cloves. And it's very good. Don't knock the pepper in it. We're just gonna whisk that together to combine. I wanna add a little note about the black pepper. You gotta grind it up from what you already get at the store. Like, don't crack pepper in there. That's not what we're going for. And even the ground stuff already is still too coarse. So if you are able to put it in like a spice grinder or something, some way to just make it like extra fine, that's what you want, because You don't really want big chunks of black pepper in your cookie. That's ready to go. I'm just gonna put that to the side and we're gonna focus our attention here. And wow, we've got all of our wet ingredients here. So first thing we're gonna do is we have a stick and a half of unsalted butter. That's going to go into our stand mixer. By the way, a word of warning before you start this. This recipe does make 42 cookies. So this is great if you're going to a party, but if you are by yourself, maybe have this recipe if you're not trying to eat 42 cookies. In here I've got 1.5 cups of brown sugar. And that's what we're gonna start with. I have my paddle attachment. Also another note, you're probably gonna want a stand mixer for this just because it has that capacity. You could do it with an electric mixer, but I feel like this just has more power to it. I'm gonna put this on a nice medium speed just till the sugar and butter gets nice and fluffy, and then we will start adding other things. So that's looking about where I want it, kind of, yeah, you can kind of see that. So now we're gonna do 2 large eggs, one at a time. Make sure they're large. We don't want extra large, we don't want jumbo. The size of your egg matters, okay? So we're gonna do 1 at a time in the stand mixer here. And you're gonna wanna incorporate that after each egg. Here's egg number 2. You can kind of see how that consistency is getting nice and doughy. All right, next addition here, I have 1/2 cup of molasses. And I'm just going to put that right in there. This is gonna be so good. This is really gonna bring out the flavor of the cookie that we're looking for. We're also gonna add now 2 teaspoons each of apple cider vinegar and vanilla extract. So we're going to do the vinegar first, vanilla extract. A little extra. You're gonna get this all mixed up. I just have it on 4 because I'm too scared of it going crazy while I'm in drag. And I want you to hear me. I'm gonna gradually add my flour mixture, just little by little here. I'm gonna do about 3 rounds of putting in the flour. Okay, and then you're gonna mix that on low, and then we'll do the next round. It smells really good. Your whole house is gonna smell delightful right now. Consistency we're at right now. This is really, really nice. This is what you want. We're gonna get our good old friend plastic wrap again. And put it out on this counter here. And what we're gonna do now is we're going to take this dough in the bowl here and divide it in half. So we're gonna do 2 plastic wrapped squares of dough here. And your dough's gonna be very, very sticky. It's not like the shortbread, you don't wanna touch it. We're about here, I'm gonna wrap this one up a little bit. You can touch it over the plastic, that's fine. Alrighty, wrapping it up just nice like that. You're gonna just pat it into a little square like this. And this is gonna go, this one and the other half are gonna go in the fridge, again, for at least an hour. This one you can keep up to just 3 days in the fridge. So try to use it fairly quickly, but at least an hour. And wow, what do we have here? More dough I made last night. So it is still kind of firm, but it is gonna be very, very sticky. So I am gonna unwrap these. They look so good. Oh my gosh. All right, here's where we are. So what you're gonna wanna do now with this dough is we're gonna cut it into little 1-inch portions and roll it into balls. I have some coarse raw sugar here that I'm going to roll those portions in, and it's gonna give it that cool little crunch on the outside, and the top is gonna get really nice and crackly. It's gonna be so good. So I'm just gonna cut little pieces, just about like that size, and wash your hands again. Roll that into a ball just with my hands like this, and I'm gonna roll it in the sugar just like this. The dough is very sticky, so you can just kind of gently press down and the sugar will get on there nice and wonderfully. And we're gonna put that onto our baking sheet. Easy peasy. You don't have to use, I just have a bag of sugar in the bra. You can use demerara sugar is what the recipe actually calls for. You can use regular old granulated sugar, brown sugar would be good. But just any kind of coarse sugar on the outside is gonna be what you want to use. Alrighty, so here's my first sheet. I have about 12 on here. These are gonna go into the oven at 350 again for 12 to 14 minutes. I have a lot of dough left over, obviously, so we'll just be making batches as we go. All right, I'll see you when these are out of the oven. Okay, so these are varying sizes, but that's okay, I think. These are literally fresh out of the oven. They've got that nice, beautiful, crackly texture, and with the sugar, it's just amazing on top. And these are really hot, and I should have touched them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let these cool. I'm gonna make another batch, and then we are going to wrap everything up and taste test everything. And this is about to be really good. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Welcome to my Christmas tree. We've made a little location change, but it's because I want to be real festive. I've made a lovely little platter of cookies. We have got our peanut butter cookies, our shortbread cookies, and our molasses cookies. But we are gonna do a taste test of all of these. Now, I do wanna say before we begin, quick disclaimer, maybe if you dip your shortbread in chocolate, don't put it on the wire rack, because I did have some trouble trying to get them off the wire rack as the chocolate hardened, and we did have some casualties. So I think if you're gonna dip them in chocolate, just put them on parchment paper. I'll probably put a warning to that earlier in this video. But we're gonna start off with our peanut butter cookies. We're gonna try these. I have made these before, but these are excellent. That is delightful. Oh my gosh, wow. Listen, these are gonna be a hit. And they're so simple. Like, they're so simple. It's not even funny how simple they are. We're gonna head to our shortbread. I carefully and strategically placed our snowflakes at the back because they did end up like this, trying to take them off, but we're gonna give them a try here. Okay. The texture is delightful, and the orange zest in there, it's so good. Like, literally, that is something you need to do if you want to like jazz up your shortbread. Just put some sort of citrus zest in it. I bet even lime would be good. I've never had lime shortbread, but I'm sure it would be good. We have got our molasses cookies. Look how gorgeous these look. These are honestly so beautiful with the raw sugar on top and the cracking. It's just that natural like crack as it goes down. Okay, I'm really excited for this one because I haven't ever made these before. So I'm super excited. Okay, here we go. Wow, okay. These are amazing. They're super, super crisp on the outside. The inside is like this nice, chewy, soft, just like deliciously breaks apart. wow. I highly recommend you make these. So here at the end of our cookies, we have made it to the end of the cookie episode, but don't worry because I've got 2 more holiday baking episodes coming at you in the next coming weeks, hopefully. But we will do them. It will be holiday themed regardless of when I end up uploading it. But I really encourage you to try all of these cookies. These are really awesome to bring to a holiday party. If you don't know what to bring, literally just watch this video, make this platter, and go to your party. I think it's gonna be a good time and everyone's gonna love everything. So with that, I'm gonna end this video here, but thank you so much for tuning in for another Baking with Marina Claire holiday edition. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a comment. What do you want to see next? I would love some suggestions because I'm trying to diversify this YouTube channel up a bit. So if you're really not into baking stuff, but you love whatever I put on my face, let me know what you want to see. I'll try to do it for you. Alrighty. We will see you next week for a new episode of Baking with Marina Claire Holiday Edition.